Hi guys, my name's Emma and let's talk spooky stuff. So today I want to talk to you guys about a Danish/Swedish film that is called Shelley. And let me preference this by saying it's another woman pregnant in a horror movie. Though this is kind of a thriller, and this one has a different, distinct kind of feel. Obviously, it's got that foreign horror type feel that I love, and it's kind of more natural than the other movies that I've reviewed recently, and more, I guess, thriller, but more basic. But let me start off by telling you what the film is about. It is about Elena, who is moving into a house with a hippie couple to help house sit and just overall help out after the woman has surgery. So while she's there, it comes out that she is actually there to save money for an apartment for herself and her son. And when they find out how desperately she wants money, they kind of proposition her with the chance of being a surrogate for their baby. The story is super basic, no twists and turns here, just a long, slow burn type ride. I would say very similar to, I want to say similar to The Witch almost, because it's that paced, slow, but I feel like The Witch is a lot more scary than this film. But I think it relates to it in the fact that it is not a modern horror. Although this one is set, I shouldn't say horror, it's more of a thriller. Although this one is set in current times, they actually don't have electricity in their house, so it takes away a whole element of, I guess, where horror movies come from these days. So because it's kind of like that slow drama type thriller, it definitely has hints of like The Witch or like Anti-Birth, if you've seen that. Very slow burn, kind of just watching it as something unfolds, a story. And the best thing about this story is definitely the characters. They're very in depth, they all have their own motivations, and I like how simple but how structured they are, and how good the actors did in this film, actors and actresses. They were beautiful, and they really put everything into their emotions, and I don't know, it just paints a perfect picture. It's one of those films that are just made up of moments instead of scenes, and I really, really enjoyed that. As I said before, the house that they're living in does not have electricity, so it is kind of in the wilderness, and it's kind of beautiful, to be honest. There's lots of lake scenes, and they really draw that isolation out that way, which I really like. And I kind of have to relate this movie to Visions in so many ways. If you haven't seen my review for that, it's about a pregnant lady who is out in a wine region, which I guess is more populated than this movie, but this movie is very authentic and very natural and just so much more believable than that kind of Hollywood type film. So they are very different, but I kind of like the way that I'm explaining them sounds very similar without me giving away things. And because this film is very realistic and kind of open to interpretation, it has a lot of meanings within their dreams, and because they are in such a small area together, a lot of what they're thinking and what they want is reflected in their own dreams. And I thought that was really cool, and definitely a different way of saying something without using dialogue, which I really like when things are creative like that. This film is definitely about relationships and how they grow and how they change, and it is definitely a slow burn. I cannot say that enough. If you like Under the Skin, this film is definitely similar to that. Also, without giving away too much, I'd like to describe it as a muted, extremely muted version of Contracted meets The Omen. And do with that what you will. This film is definitely up for interpretation. This film is not twisty, bendy. You may think at times there's a villain out to get somebody, but really it's just a slice of life, and it's left up to your own interpretation. Some people probably won't like this film, but if you're into your thrillers and your dramas and your slow burns, how many times have I said that? You'll probably really like this film. I'm gonna give this one a 5 out of 10 for personal, a 1 out of 10 for scare, and a 6 out of 10 for originality. I just really wanted to watch something a little bit different that had a more foreign and drawn out thriller feel to it. I found, although that this kind of satisfied my taste for that, this was also quite slow, and it didn't have that whole explosion at the end that you're really looking for, but I felt like it was satisfying enough, and maybe if it had that, it would have been a lot more forced for what it was. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Please give it a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Stay spooky. Bye.